Darren here to give you a quick little look at these Pico plates. Love that name, Pico. So these are by Kamerar, and they're a great simple little way of mounting stuff to your camera, or rather your 15mm camera rails, which should be attached to your camera. So these are really inexpensive. They're only about 25 bucks each. I opted for the 2-pack, which also comes with a nice little set of extra rails. So what can you use these for? Well, as you can see over here, I've got one with my little mic that I use on the C100. Now, it's a little plate, but they made it just big enough. So it has enough surface area to really make good contact with stuff. Like say you wanted to throw a light onto your camera. Well, if I take a moment here to screw this in. So look at that. I just put this on the light and I can just put the light right onto my little rod right here. And look at that. Got a light right on there. So what's nice is I have this little $8 or this is usually ball head that it comes with a 1/4 inch. Oops, almost dropped that. So if I attach that to this, oops. Now you've got this nice little moving around, can rotate in a lot of different ways kind of mount. Now that kind of makes it a little bit similar to another way of mounting stuff, which is the Magic Israeli friction arm, however you want to call it. But I do like these as an alternative to that. I use those all the time, but I do see how the different method that this works, hey Bobby, that I might actually get a lot of use out of this. Okay, bird has entered video. So I do like the idea of having this as an alternative to the Israeli arm because it's one nice little solid piece. Now let's find some stuff to complain about. So you got a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch. Nice that they included both. Now you see up here, it's got a slot that it can come out. So if you want to take that out so nothing else gets in the way while you're mounting something to a 1/4-20, now the 1/4-20 can just slide right out. Not ideal. And you know what? Now that that's out, I like to substitute it with a 1/4-20 that's got its own little handles. I like having a nice, much more convenient thing that I don't need a screwdriver for, although as you can see, I'm using a washer right now, or a 1/4, or a dime, or whatever you got, can get the job done. But I like these little handle things. But of course, it's got the same problem of it'll just fall out on its own. I guess you could store it in one of these. You know, just store it in there so it doesn't fall out. That's if you don't want to have the 3/8 in there as well. Because it could get annoying having those 2 bolts in there. You know, the 3/8 is the one that has to hold it in. And then if you want to mount something that's fully flush with the top of this, well, it's going to get in the way if you don't take it out. So that is one little nitpick, that you've got to somehow plug up that hole if you want to keep a 1/4-20 in there all the time and not have to worry about it falling out. Not a huge deal, but yeah, a little unideal, non-ideal, however you want to properly Englishly phrase that. So another little thing I could complain about is the knob. It's plenty nice, it's fully metal, but it's a little bit stiff and a little bit limited than other knobs I've worked with. For instance, here's a little $10 item from Amazon as well, the little small rig guy. And this knob, you know, it's much smoother than this, meaning when you tighten this down, it could get stiff and it's a little bit tough to get it going again. Bobby. This one, on the other hand, has an extra nylon washer, which I'm guessing is the reason why it really helps, why it really stays smooth and doesn't feel like it gets stuck at all. So I'm going to go ahead and try and find a little nylon washer to throw in there to hopefully give it that same smoothness. Not a big deal, it's like 5 cents. And the other thing, which is a little more, well, I wish they would have gone for, is that most of these, or I should say many of these, have the ability that when you tighten them down, if you need to tighten it more but something's blocking it, you can just pull it out, readjust, and keep going to either loosen or tighten it. This does not do that. So what's interesting though is that it looks like, yeah, they are practically identical in length. So there you go. If you want a better knob for this, all you gotta do is order the this little $10 guy from Amazon. I'll link you to that as well. And now that works much smoother. Nice, okay. I'll put this aside. And I'm sure you can get other knobs. Kamerar makes a lot of stuff, so maybe they actually do have some better knobs that you can grab. He's excited. So there's really not much else to nitpick. I mean, I'm using it right now while I'm testing out the Atomos Ninja Blade, another nice little item that I'm evaluating. And yeah, I'll just put this on. I did wish it had maybe some rubber mats on the top so it grips better, because it does tend to slide if you don't tighten it down really well. Make sure it's tight. And the monitor on. And there it is. Yeah. And it's nice because you can, well, adjust the tilt. Say I got it high up working down here. Cool. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit more solid feeling than when you use Israeli arms or friction arms sometimes. These things are great, but sometimes they can become a little ungainly, if you know what I mean. I was using this block to mount this mic, but I like the way the Pico plate handles it better. To get this to my C100 to fit in my bag as is, fold that straight down, and that fits in the bag just perfectly. Once I'm in use, rotate it up like that, or even put it over here, whichever way I feel like it. So that is really it for the Pico plate. I love it because it is simple, it is inexpensive, and it is very useful. So that's the Kamerar Pico plate, and I'm Darren Levine at Media Hilo. Enjoy.